frustrating.
All right, so on my side, hey guys, Yankee T News. We're doing our usual evening broadcast here. And don't think that because it's the evening, things have slowed down. So I'm here with Jason of Connecticut Common Sense News and Entertainment.
That's right. Here I am, and we're now live on Facebook too. The joint venture again between Yankee T News and Common Sense News and Entertainment. And we have quite a bit to talk about tonight. Hopefully we can fit it in because it is getting late. We're on later than usual, almost 10 p.m. here.
And it's getting crazy.
And it's getting crazy. Those things go together, late and crazy.
That's right.
So let's talk about tonight's event that was live on Facebook. I did go down there I'm still in the amateur phase of Common Sense News and Entertainment, of course. Very much so.
The amateur phase.
It's the amateur phase right now. Well, I'm not getting paid. That makes it amateur. So that's the difference between amateur and professional. So
right.
But I'll tell you something. I went down there tonight, did it live on Facebook, and I've been to a lot of similar events over the last 16 months or so. Most of them at a little less formal than that. And I got to tell you, for the first time in a long time, I felt kind of small.
Small?
Yeah, I felt small.
Really?
Just a little. Just a little. What I mean by that is I was very underdressed.
Okay.
Now I am a comfortable dresser to begin with. I don't like suits and ties and stiffy clothes like that. I know that I have to wear them sometimes.
Yeah.
I recognize, however, as we move forward in this venture, that I do have to step up my game a little bit on the attire.
Yes.
I just do. It's just how it is. I will.
You don't like khakis?
You
don't like khaki pants?
Khakis?
Yeah.
I mean, I can wear them. I have I have nice clothes I can put on. I mean, and I will.
And what about like what we'll call ordinary dress shirts?
Sure. I mean, I have plenty of stuff. I mean, I don't mind it. It's just that, I was walking in with Peter Lamage, actually, because he and I have met a couple times. He's a good dude. I like Peter Lamage.
He was dressed in a suit and tie.
Oh, he was dressed to the nines, and I'm walking in like this, and I said, Peter and I are talking, because he's a good dude. He's a guy who knows what it's like to live under real communist rule, by the way, being from Albania.
I've heard his story many times.
Oh, yeah. So anyway, we're walking, we're talking. I said, hey, it's a good event. I said, well, I'll tell you one thing, Peter. I said, you got me beat on the entire front tonight, man. I'll tell you. We both laughed, walked in together. So I said, it's, substance over style, but I get it, So what I realized tonight, this is something I realized. I've known it all along, but everybody was dressed to the nines at this thing, and, a lot more than like at the Cadillac Ranch, say. And so I felt a little, but I was going to go home and change even, but I didn't want to miss anything. So I stuck it out, and everything went fine. I guess I rarely feel self-conscious like that. I'm usually just, hey, go with the flow. I just felt a little small.
Okay, well.
But hey, that's a good thing when you feel like that sometimes. It puts you humble. It makes you, dig deeper. So we'll do that. I'll step it up a little bit. But anyway, as far as the event itself, it really went really well. The funny thing is, while I was in the bar area, and there's a big cake that said "Congratulations" or "Happy Birthday, Mr. Chairman" on it.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, I don't know what I was thinking, but I thought to myself, oh my God, is Ben Proto going to be here? Is this his birthday? It can't be.
And it turns out
it was just the Coventry chairman.
Just.
Please. Well, not just, but
and
better than Ben, actually. It was better than Ben, actually. Yeah. But anyway,
when
if it had been Ben, I wasn't sure I was going to.
When are you joining the RTC?
I'm going to join the Coventry RTC. I'm going to try to, yeah.
Yeah.
And then what's his name? Chris Coyne. It's a great dude, great member of State Council Committee, one of the best, most trustworthy conservatives in the committee. He made a speech, and when the speech was over, I wanted to walk over and say hi to him, tell him we got to reconnect, because he's a guy that you and I should both connect with, actually. And I went over to talk to him, and he sat down at one of the tables with some other people. I said, well, I'll wait. I'll talk to him later. I didn't want to walk up to his table and interrupt him in the middle of, the ceremonies. So I go back to where I was, and I'm filming again. About 3 minutes later, I feel this tap on my shoulder, and there he is, standing next to me. He found me. I said, Jason, good to see you, So we agreed to get together and talk and have lunch. He's a good dude. This guy's he's as far as the politicians in Connecticut are concerned, He's one of the few, I think, is the real McCoy.
Is he in an elected office?
He's a central committee member.
All right, well, that's elected enough, I guess.
That's
Okay.
elected enough. And then Aaron, I can't let this end without talking about Aaron. I spoke with Betsy again, and she is going to follow up and end up on my podcast with Selena on CT Common Sense, which is great. She's very busy. At first, I was wondering if she was stiffing me, but I think she's just so overwhelmingly busy.
Yeah. No,
when I talked to her just yesterday morning on the phone, on my phone, I talked to her right here in my living room. She didn't even know. I was like, I'm going to be in Coventry tomorrow night. Like, and she's like, well, I don't know. She had no idea where she was going to be. They probably got her running ragged, wherever it's going to be. That's where I'm going to be, she says.
Right.
Okay, great. But she's really cool. And then Erin, I saw Erin. I came up to her. I introduced myself to her live on Facebook. And she said, hello. I said, I'm Jason. Oh, yes. She knew who I was. And I think part of her was going, oh, man, he's here. But she was very polite, and it was only a brief conversation. And I said, you got to get on my podcast. I said, it'll be your forum. You can say whatever you want. It's for you, Great, she said. And then she was surrounded by people. And there was a lot of people with Aaron stickers on their those little name tag stickers. I said Aaron on them, just the first name Aaron on them. Okay. She had a lot of support there. He had Fazio was there. He had a lot of support. I introduced myself to him as well. He's very polite.
Yep. Right.
He looks like Clark Kent, man. This guy is Clark Kent.
That's right. He does.
Oh, my Lord. I would start calling him Clark. Dude is Clark Kent all the way. And when he gets up behind that podium, he looks like he could just go, that S would come right out. Okay. Ryan Fazio, Superman.
Actually, one has to make it a little bit more interesting by coming up with a graphic, okay, where somewhere there's just the slightest hint that there might be a Superman uniform underneath there. Just a little red, a little yellow, okay.
Yeah, just a little hint. We could do a commercial for him, a TV ad for him would be great. Have him like walking around a little phone booth. Let's slip into a little phone booth. We come out with like a veto or something. You could definitely have some fun with that. But they're all very, very nice. And actually, now what sucked was my once again the power was an issue. We still need more work on technology. That's why this is so important that we get the bank account going and things, so I can have true power. And I ran out of power toward the end. I had it charged up all the way, but there's a piece of equipment that I can get that will help me with that. And I had to shut it down when the lieutenant governor candidate talked. I had to shut it off because I wanted to save it for the governor's speeches. And I did get Aaron's full speech, but unfortunately it ran out probably halfway through Fazio's speech, unfortunately.
Great. So how many people were there?
There was quite a few people there. I would go into the couple of hundred area.
Wow. So that's more than Madison.
Well, I mean, I get the whole restaurant. I would say 125, 150, probably, and another 75 regular bar patrons, I guess.
Okay.
Quite a bit of people. And they're all drinking too. I mean, they kept saying, let's go back there drinking. I figured, man, I should stay. I should stick around. See what happens later. But
hey, I think get them drunk, get them to tell you some interesting stories.
There you go. When I first got there, it was ironic that now here's the thing: they didn't treat Betsy quite the same. Betsy made her speech early, before the ceremonies had even begun. They didn't even let her. She wasn't even. I don't even think she was part of the itinerary. She was on the Facebook post promoting the event. But when I got there just about exactly at 6 o'clock. It was promoted to be from 6 to 8, I think. And neither Aaron or Ryan were there. Fazio nor Stuart were there when I got there, but Betsy was there. And she started speaking about 15 minutes after I got there. Well, they hadn't even served dinner yet. People were still mulling around. It was almost like she was doing the pregame reception speech.
Yeah.
Which I found a little weird. And she's making her speech with right behind her on the wall is a big Aaron sign and a big Fazio sign. No McCoy signs like that. So I thought that was a little weird. I think she made a great speech. People liked it, but it was almost like there was the early birds that were there. Yeah. It wasn't everybody sitting down for dinner like it was for the other two.
Well, I mean, this is it. She's been the one to warm up the audience in every case.
That's great, but it's almost like
she's the perfect one to do it.
Did the Coventry RTC treat her correctly there, though?
I don't know what to say.
I'll have to ask her about it. Yeah. She seemed fine. I just noticed that it was a good hour later by the time. I mean, you know how these things go. They had the dinner. They brought in some of the they brought in George Austin running in the 2nd district. They brought in a guy running for treasurer.
Mm.
Then they worked their way up to lieutenant governor, and then finally, they, of course, with Aaron, and then Fazio was the final speaker. I believe he must have been the final speaker. I bailed after I ran out of power.
Right. Well, I think you can appreciate that she's going to be confronted with a difficult decision right after the convention, because she's not going to get the nomination.
Well, Fazio's going to get the nomination.
Will she have enough to primary, or will she have to decide if she's going to fight to primary herself?
Mm-hmm. I think Aaron will fight it all the way.
No, Aaron.
She says the right things, but she's just. I liked her speech, honestly, but I know you and I both know better. But
when she speaks, all I hear is fluff. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
Maybe once in a while she'd reference a few things, but Aaron would do herself a better service by citing specific legislation, specific situations,
Mm-hmm.
specific challenges, specific problems she corrected. She just
talks in platitudes like a typical old school politician.
Yeah,
it ain't gonna work.
Well, I think there's an argument to be made that platitudes are what you need to limit yourself to before the convention.
I would agree.
That may be true. I don't know. Anyway,
I just think. Anyway, the whole experience was pretty cool. I'm going to make an effort to join the Coventry RTC. It's the town I live in, and why not, right? But if I join the Coventry RTC, it's gonna. I am not a. I don't know. I don't know how well I'm doing that. I'm going to speak my mind. I mean.
Yeah, well, I think you're pretty good as a networker, and this will be an opportunity to connect with a lot of people, in theory. Mm-hmm. Anyway,
we're going to do it. We're going to might as well. But other than covering the event, the other mission I had was to find out when the next meeting was, and that didn't work out. But I can still. I've got connections in the town. We'll make that work. It wasn't the place to sign up for the RTC tonight. But to network, and we did that. Marianne Turner was there.
Okay.
I didn't say hi to her, though. She was surrounded by people, too, and I felt a little small.
Yeah, anyway.
Next time I go to one of those, I'm going to have to dress better than I did. I don't think people cared. I cared.
Yeah, well, you have to read the room, and you can see that people
I didn't read the room right. Cadillac Ridge, you kind of get away with it, but not there, really. Not that setting. The room was very set up, very fancy, and obviously someone had decorated it. I was the only guy that had a baseball cap in the entire room.
Oh, wow. I was
looking everywhere for another baseball cap. I finally did see one about 15 minutes before I left, so there was one other guy, but that was like.
So what are you going to do about that going forward?
Oh, no. My chrome dome, man. Look at that. Oh, my God.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
No, it's not that bad. Actually, no, that's not going to work. The Donald Trump comb over will not work.
All right. Oh, well.
That's okay. I don't care, really. The wife says I should shave it all off.
Yeah. You haven't got any gray hair to speak of.
Go Steve Orozco all the way. I'm not ready for that yet.
No, don't. Yeah. You're fine the way you are. Okay. That's what I would say. And
I'm all about substance over style anyway.
Yeah.
But maybe there should be a little more balance. Substance over style doesn't mean style doesn't exist.
Well,
it's got a little bit of a plate at the table. But substance always means more.
Yeah, well, substance becomes an interesting discussion here as we shift over to Iran.
Oh, we got to go back to Iran again?
Yeah, we got to go back to Iran because.
Okay, let's do it.
All right, so here I go. You ready? And boom.
Ooh, what do we got? Oh, that's ancient looking.
Yeah, it's ancient looking.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Are these old Persian artifacts?
No, the theme tonight is the demons of Iran.
The demons of Iran. Okay.
So did you know that within the Muslim faith, well, I don't know if it's so much the Muslim faith, but you have this crossover between what I would call Persian mythology and Islam. All right. And from what would at least be Persian mythology, you have a belief in, what a surprise, demons.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Who are called jinn or jinni, also pronounced genie, as in genie in a bottle.
So a genie is a demon.
All right. Yeah, genie. Well, we've sanitized the idea of a demon with our genie in a bottle, and I dream of Jeannie Barbara, what her name was, beautiful woman. Anyway, so here we have some ancient examples of jinn, who are demons. And I wish to suggest that there are some demons who may be afflicting the folks who are running Iran today. So there may be no greater demon than these so-called talking points about which they're supposed to be negotiating. So I don't know. Let me ask, have you followed anything today in the news?
Well, I did hear about the 10-point negotiation on 10 points that Iran is asking for or demanding, and that Trump literally threw it in the trash.
Okay.
That's what I heard. That's mostly what I heard today. But I'm working, so I haven't really followed too closely.
They probably did the same thing. But we've got...
I heard the ceasefire isn't going too well yet either.
No, I wouldn't say. So, but here we have from Iran International an article titled, Iran Officials Celebrate Ceasefire as Critics Warn It Could Stall Change. Now, of course, as you probably know, they have been touting this ceasefire as evidence of the victory of Iran over the great Satan.
We all know that's not true.
Okay, but that's how they're playing it.
Playing with who? What dumb people are buying that?
Well, true believers are buying it, if anybody.
They're the most devout, faithful people buying it. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Whatever 9 million people they have in Iran, I guess.
Right. So
out of 90.
So, but it becomes an interesting problem here. There's a criticism that's been made about President Trump that I think has some merit to it.
Okay.
And that is that he has problems distinguishing between what would be called an operational success and a strategic success.
Or political success.
Well, political success would, in my mind, be correlated with a strategic success.
Okay.
In his case, but this has been the problem from the get-go, as far as I'm concerned. They grab, in my opinion, just my opinion, they are grabbing anything that's, quote, good news, and they're blowing it totally out of proportion. That's what I think.
Okay.
And
that's
so
what you're supposed to do.
Sorry?
That's what you're supposed to do when you're prosecuting a war and trying to win a war, though.
Yes.
You're not supposed to go on the air and talk about all the bad stuff.
Okay. Are you expecting to hold on to public support if you're exaggerating your successes, only to have your exaggerations revealed as exaggerations?
Well, that's where the flaw comes in.
Yeah.
Maybe they're overdoing it.
I think you can't bullshit the troops and expect, continued support. You have to be honest.
Is he bullshitting the troops or is it the public?
I am referring to the public as the troops.
Oh, our troops are American.
Yes, we the civilians as the troops, so to speak. And it doesn't help. I mean, you take people like CNN, and then whoever that person was who took the leak concerning the rescue effort. In the meantime, I cannot believe this. I cannot believe how there's.
Well, if he hasn't lied, I mean, is he lied or is he just overblowing the things that are happening that are good?
Well, I think I don't think he's lying. I think he's overblowing it. Trying to refer to what we've done as,
that's his personality, though. How many times did Trump go on and talk about how he won the election in a landslide and he beat this guy here or beat this guy? He goes on and on. He's bragging is what he's doing. It's his personality. And that is a good criticism. If he's letting his personality kind of just be too much right here when he should be holding his cards a little bit better, that is a valid criticism.
The way I would put our situation is this. Fine. You can, so Secretary of War Peter Hegseth, you can say that you have achieved your major military objectives. Okay, there's a problem. Those military objectives do not translate into regime change, despite what you think. Okay? All that we've seen in the way of regime change has been the emergence. We did those guys last night, those three guys. Vahidi, I guess, being the most prominent of the three, and then Mohammed was it Bob Robinson and Mohensen, or whatever it was. Bob.
To uproot this mullah from this country, there's not going to be easy. We've gone over this. It's not going to happen in a few weeks. I mean, it's going to take months.
Let me bring them up again because they are kind of
our big three.
Yeah, where are they? Come on, guys.
These guys are like the third or fourth guys down the line now. They are still the top 2 or 3 tiers of guys have been killed. I mean,
let's see here. Where did it go?
At this point in time, we've got to go pedal to the metal. I'm not in favor of this ceasefire, by the way. I am not in favor of it. I think it's nice. I like peace. I want peace, not ceasefires.
Right.
Ceasefires are just going to pull. You want this war to be a forever war? Keep having your little ceasefires and keep dragging it on that way, and watch guys like this end up at the top. So I'm not in favor of the peace fire. We should be in there knocking down their bridges and their power plants, and then until they cry uncle. That's what war is. And now Trump's getting away from that, and that worries me.
Okay, well, so I'm going to deal with. I think the following is an honest account of what's been going on in the quote war planning room with Donald Trump and his inner circle. Okay, General Raisin Kane, Peter Hegseth, DNI Gabbard, other people who have military roles, the head of the CIA, these guys who you think of as key players around this whole thing.
Well, I said, do they cast this crew that you just described with regime change, or is it just a military meeting? Is it just about beating down Iran's military?
No, this is the group. This is the group where they're talking to each other and trying to make a decision about what to do. So there was a moment.
What to do militarily, or what to do overall?
Yes, militarily first.
Yeah.
And then whatever they can be done politically, but militarily it comes first. If you got the Department of War there, it's going to be about the military. Okay, so then they had these discussions and they weren't sure. And as the story goes, there was this private meeting with Netanyahu and Trump, in which they made their case for why they should go ahead with this. The problem was that the information that the Israelis gave President Trump was, do you have a word ready?
Not completely accurate.
I'm going with wrong. Just wrong.
In what way?
Well, the biggest one was the expectation that the people would rise up and fight.
It's been 6 weeks. It's been 6 weeks. We've told the people to stay indoors.
Yes. Okay.
It's not time for that yet.
No, but the point is, as the story goes, behind closed doors, you had Israel looking at Trump and saying, our agents on the ground and Mossad can tell you that if you go in there and beat the hell out of Iran, the people will rise up. That was the guarantee. Okay. That was what was
in 6 weeks. We cannot expect major geopolitical upheaval in 6 weeks.
All right. You could say that this is what he was sold on. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sold on. It didn't happen.
It's been 6 weeks. It hasn't happened yet. You act like it's all over. It hasn't happened.
Okay. Well, I think what we're discovering here.
6 weeks.
Okay, you say 6 weeks. The problem, once
People
again,
aren't ready to come out yet. They're afraid to come out. There's still too much danger on the streets for them. My understanding is some of these guys are still in positions to sniper fire and kill protesters that come out in the street.
Okay,
And
so
that's a situation that'll be difficult to clean up because you don't need missiles, you don't need major. You need just a guy with a sniper rifle, a bunch of guys with sniper rifles to start
we
picking
need
off
more than that.
protesters. That's a be difficult thing to unravel, wouldn't it? Would it not?
Here's the way to understand this. You're looking at, let's try this way, granularity, okay? What the American military has done, it has destroyed what we will call the big things, all right?
Right, not the small guys with the sniper rifles and the little things.
Exactly, right? If you're going to have regime change, that's going to happen at the level of small things. And we have nothing to show at the level of small things.
World War II took 4.5 years. Vietnam took 8 years. We lost that one. This one has been 6 weeks.
Okay.
6 weeks. It's not even the top of the first. There's one out in the top of the first inning.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this thing is, it's just too early to start drawing conclusions that this has failed, that has failed, this hasn't happened, that it's only now when Trump. I'll tell you one thing. I'll criticize President Trump about, and it's the same thing. A little bit on the theme we just discussed. He's a little bit too optimistic, I think. He went on TV and made that 8-minute speech that I thought was going to be historical speech to be here 100 years from now, basically telling the people of Iran to hang out, wait till we tell you, and then come out, take your country.
One of the worst speeches he ever did.
That was a mistake. He should have not put a timetable on it. When he said 4 to 5 weeks, that got everybody thinking in 4 to 5 weeks. Now we're at 6 weeks, so everyone's losing their mind over it. So he shouldn't have put a timetable on it. He said, "Look, I don't know how long it's going to take. We're hoping to make it as short as possible.
Okay,
hoping to do it in weeks."
All right. So I'm just going to say that's an easy statement to make about time. There is the more fundamental problem.
Well, it takes time to unravel small arms.
No, there's the fundamental problem. What is the most critical thing you need to have in order to plan an attack? You need intelligence, good intelligence that's factual, that's correct, that informs you what to do. Because if the intelligence is incorrect, you're screwed.
But we don't know what our intelligence. We have no idea. We have no idea what kind of intelligence we're getting from our own CIA or apparently Israel's made mistakes.
If you have no idea, then you have no business doing this stuff.
No, we as the public have no idea how good or bad the intelligence that the CIA is getting is. We don't know. They may know a lot more than they're saying.
Well,
part of war is deception.
Yes,
we don't really know. You and I, we both wish we were, but neither you or I are in a position to know what really the hell's going on in terms of what the CIA knows or doesn't know about what's going on in Iran, what intelligence is good and what's not, or what percentage of the intelligence we have is good and what is not. We don't know anything about any of that, really.
So why are we having this conversation?
Because I guess what I'm saying is we may very well have excellent intel on the shelf, waiting to use when necessary. I'm sure we get bad intel as well. I would imagine, I'm not an intelligence officer or expert. My guess is it's like anything else. You're going to get a whole bunch of information. Some of it's going to be good. Some of it's not going to be. It's not so good.
I would like to offer up another one, and that is that we know that we don't have enough intelligence.
How do we know that?
I think we would see more decisive actions in different places if we had better intelligence.
We may have good intelligence, but we don't. It could be. Can both things be true? One, we're doing good in intelligence. Two, we don't know everything.
Another way to put it is the intelligence we have is telling us right now the best thing to do is to declare a ceasefire.
Well,
because
you mentioned
our intelligence sucks.
The ceasefire.
Work on getting better information.
No, maybe. Okay, yeah. The ceasefire presents an advantage to our end that we can watch what they do and gather more intelligence.
Yes, I would say that's important.
Okay, but that doesn't mean that we don't. That doesn't mean that our intelligence up to this point has been bad, or we don't. It seems to me, honestly, if we've hit 13,000 targets, it sounds like we knew a lot of places that we needed to hit. So we got that information from somewhere. We
Well,
just, I don't think we just randomly went around and started bombing everything we could find. We
okay.
probably almost, I bet you most of, not all of those targets were pre-planned. And if that's the case, we must have had pretty good intelligence to determine some of these places were. Some of them were obvious, obviously. A lot of them were probably
I
obvious.
would disagree. You have to look at what has happened as a way of indicating whether or not we have good intelligence. The fact that they still have a lot of missiles and they continue to fire them, even though the total number has gone down, would tell you that no, we don't have such good intelligence.
We don't have perfect intelligence. That doesn't mean we don't have perfect intelligence.
Well, I'm not talking about perfect.
That does not say to me that we don't have good intelligence. It just says that we don't have perfect intelligence. It could use improvement maybe, but it doesn't say we don't have any good intelligence. We did destroy, it seems to, based on the number of missiles that are being launched, it seems like we've hit 80 to 90% of the missiles they have.
Intelligence is not good enough for regime change.
No, not enough for regime. No one thought, I don't think anybody, if Trump made people think that regime change is going to happen today.
I mean, I'm in the camp that says this is a waste of time if we don't have a serious swapping out of the people who are supposed to run the country. Okay.
I agree, but that will take time. That's not going to happen overnight. That's not going to happen in 6 weeks. I don't think anybody ever thought it would. I never thought it would. I thought maybe I was hoping it would, be honestly.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the thing
Trump
is,
made it sound like Trump. See, that's what Trump screws up. He comes out and he says, "Oh, we're gonna, people like." When I listened to that speech, I was thinking, "Great, 5 weeks. The people of Iran are all gonna come out in the streets. They're gonna have a big party, and it's gonna be this wonderful thing." Trump is too optimistic sometimes. It gets people's expectations a little bit too high, including mine. And then when it turns out the reality of war is a long drawn out thing. And you're right, these mullahs have been ready for this for 45 years.
mm-hmm.
So they surely have defenses that we have not unraveled. War is ugly, and I'm not willing to. I think I still would say, if you were to ask for my assessment, overall, our military and our intelligence and our country's doing a wonderful job. Maybe not perfect, maybe things that need improvement, and maybe this may take a little longer than we thought. But I don't think anybody thought we were going to achieve. Well, I guess, see, that's where Trump goes wrong. Because he even had me thinking, hey, regime change in a few weeks here.
All right,
that wasn't realistic.
Let me give you a hypothetical that would fall within the scope of reasonableness.
Mm-hmm.
There are, let's say, 10. CIA has managed to infiltrate with 10 spies who are in the lower and middle levels of the IRGC.
Mm-hmm.
So with those 10, the Americans would be receiving a steady diet of what would be insider information,
mm-hmm.
including various rumors,
mm-hmm.
assessment of leadership capabilities, just what kind of, when they tell us these guys are panicking, I feel comfortable suggesting that the basis for that claim is coming from inside information that they're getting inside the IRGC. Okay?
That they're panicking, yeah.
Yes. All right.
What about when in the first 2 days of the war, we destroyed 2/3 of their council? We knew we had good intel then. We knew where those guys were going to be. I mean,
what 2/3? You got rid of 50 people, 100 people.
Leaders.
The upper management, okay,
yeah,
for the IRGC is probably around 10,000 people. Somebody else has suggested that. That's kind of a number I thought might be true. Just think about it. Okay.
So we don't know how many of those we've killed. We might have killed 2,000 or 3,000 of them. Who knows? Or just maybe 1,000. But the highest council though, and the Ayatollah himself, those guys all died in the first couple of days. I mean, we had to.
Right.
We had them all in one room. We blew a bunch of them.
May I direct your attention to the photographs to our right?
Yeah. What about them? These guys we already decided are the 3rd or 4th tier down.
Yes, and guess what? They've been able to get their act together enough that they're sitting in one room together and saying we're the leadership.
After we had the intel to blow away the first 2 tiers of leadership.
Okay, and that's the point. You can keep blowing away layers and layers. Others will keep showing up. All right.
Eventually, we're gonna bring them down. As long as we stay with it. As long as we don't go, oh, ceasefire, let's negotiate. If we get like that, then yeah, you're right. We'll fail. We need to go. Mm-hmm. This is a war, and we need to go and finish it. Maybe we need ground troops. Maybe we need special forces. You know, these people of Iran. What if these people of Iran could pick a couple of cities? Here's a military strategy for you. Why don't we bring in a couple of hundred special forces into pick two random cities that we think may be most friendly toward us, and we bring in our Marines and we bring in our troops and we say, come on out, and we help them take control of those cities. And then we start from there. We do another city. And we just do it. Maybe take a year or so, whatever. It's war.
Right.
You go do what you got to do. And I think we will. I have confidence that we will. Maybe it's not as easy as we thought it was going to be. That's possible.
Okay.
I find it hard to believe that our top military officers didn't know this was going to be hard.
Okay. Be aware that there are approximately 100 cities.
Meaning regime change is hard.
Hold on. There's about 100 cities with a population of 100,000 or more. Okay. The top 10 cities, Tehran is 15.8 million.
Wow, that's bigger than New York.
Yes. Isfahan is 3.9. Mashhad is 3.4. Karaj 2.5. Shiraz 2. Tabriz 1.7. Qom, which is nearby, 1.3. And then 1.1, 1.0, and 1 million. Okay. Those are the top 10.
Okay.
All right. So let's see. So that's 1, 2, 3, 6.
Well, their biggest Tehran is bigger than New York, but after that goes right down to 3.
30. All right. So the top 10 cities have around 30 million people in them. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
About a third of
the population of Iran is in 10 cities. All right. So if you're talking about regime change, you have to, quote, hold ground. You have to be in possession of something.
Sure.
Territorially. And believe me, this is what Donald Trump and others are dreaming of. But you don't have, at the small level, the combination of people and forces that make this possible. All right? There should be a sense of frustration here because we're not able yet to take actions where we're able to say we hold this ground and we're declaring a new government.
So I think you know what, militarily we've got to be capable of that. Maybe politically we don't have the will to do that yet.
Okay, which is more important?
Well, obviously militarily is right now. Militarily is more important.
No, political is more important.
Long run, political is more important.
That's how you build your institutions. That's how you create a stable government. Okay, the military to back it up.
If we have so many, if the people of Iran themselves are more pro-American than as we think they are, I would think we should just pick a city, one of those maybe 1 million cities, not so big, and just go for it and see how it works out. We can use those litmus tests for the other cities. You're right. We need territory in Iran. This is going to take a while. You know, the air campaign is the easy part.
We're heading for 2 months.
Trump should not have talked about it being over in 4 or 5 weeks. I think that was a mistake. He should have been a little more open-ended on that speech. Big mistake, because now everyone's thinking it's going to be over in a few weeks. We can beat them on the air game I think the air game can be won and is being won within a few weeks. But the rest of it, to actually do their government and create, that's not going to be an easy thing to do. Right. They do have the home field advantage. But I do believe if we have the military and political will together, we could pull it off in a few months.
Okay, well, while we're sitting here doing this,
just overwhelming them with
things to offer up here.
How about overwhelming military ground air force?
Hold on, Jason. Hold on.
I'm trying.
Hold on. Okay.
I'm getting angry, man.
Come on, let me speak.
Go ahead.
The Greater Israel Project. Okay, this is a point that Eric brings up, and this is, bitching about Israel, of course. But then his next point is about controlling the Middle East entirely. Well, that's a funny concept when you consider how much all these countries hate each other's guts. All right, so the idea of controlling some central control over all these countries. Control suggests unity, right? Or some kind of, what am I looking for? strong central government. How does that sound?
So
Anyway.
Israel wants to control the whole Middle East. Is that what he's saying? Is that what Eric's saying?
You know what? That would be the ultimate objective of the Greater Israel Project. Yes, that would be right.
Ridiculous.
Yes, well, it is ridiculous, but this is their dream.
So
you have some time later on.
You have neo-Nazis in America that have dreams about that. I mean,
later,
what I want to know is what kind of popularity does GIP have in Israel?
Later on, when you have time, you need to go to Wikipedia and look up the Greater Israel Project, okay? And we'll lay out the whole thing for you,
all right? I'll do that.
And you'll realize that this has been a dream of Israel for quite some time.
A dream of Israel, or just a dream of some of the most devout, nutty Israel people? I think, you know what, honestly, I think it's bull. I think most of the people, regular people of Israel, are just want the bombing to stop, just want their friends to stop being blown up in bars and having buildings knocked down and whatnot, people dying. I think that's what most of them are concerned about. And any notion of a greater Israel rule would come later.
All right. So, Netanyahu has said that he believes in the Greater Israel Project.
I believe in the Greater American Project. I'd like to see the whole world operate with our Bill of Rights and our rights and freedoms for people. That'd be great.
Yeah, well, we've quickly found out it doesn't work that way. And if there's any place where it doesn't work that way, it's the Mideast. All right.
I think the same GIP people would probably say the same thing.
All right. So anyway,
I know it's a pipe dream, but I would love to see Israel control the Middle East. But come on.
No, bad idea. Bad idea.
I mean, honestly, it's not worth my reading time.
So you're expecting to convert a bunch of Muslims to Judaism?
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. It's not worth it's not worth my time picking through Wikipedia on my precious time and reading up all that garbage.
Yeah. Anyway,
look, I love Israel, but we're not going to have a Greater Israel Project. Yeah, the Mullahs are going to go along with that one. Okay. You have to use the nuclear weapons to do that.
All right. You still have Israelis who believe in it. Right? Against Israel, you make fun of it all you want. They still believe in it.
Oh, that's fine. Let them believe
now, all right. Next, Eric points out neither of you are looking at the geopolitical implications of what controlling that region means. Well, I've talked about those geopolitical implications, Eric. So I guess I get to get into that with him later. The two biggest ones are, of course, are the impact on Russia and China. The other that's maybe minor but still significant is Turkey. All right.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're a significant country. They're probably a lot more influential, like ultimately it could be, than we think.
That would be absolutely correct. Okay, they're the mere fact of their geographical location positions themselves for being influential in the Mediterranean, influential up into the Eastern European region, and as well as Russia. And of course, being influential, there's been a long relationship. And the other thing is that Turkey has long had a good relationship with Germany. Who knew? Hitler and whoever was running Turkey at the time, they were Goomba during World War II.
Huh.
Right?
Well, it doesn't surprise me, given the red-green wave we're dealing with today.
All right. But also, what I'm trying to think of, Afghanistan and Turkey have had a long-standing good relationship with each other. All right. So when you start to put things like that together, and the fact that the whatever remnants you might find of the Ottoman Empire, Turkey is clearly a part of that too.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Turkey has a significant place in all of this. But again, if I've said it before and I'll say it again. Oh, and I got to produce another point here. It's important. The impact on Russia and China, clearly negative. But somebody offered up the following observation, which I had not considered. There's another reason China is not happy about what's happening with Iran. Okay? You read?
Okay, lay it on me.
The defenses used by Iran against us and others are the same kind of defenses that Taiwan could use against China. in the event of an invasion. This was something I had not considered, that Taiwan would be in a position to launch an incredible number of drones as a form of defensive response if they were being invaded.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's significant enough, according to this commentator, that it's the kind of thing that's giving China real pause about invading Taiwan.
Mm-hmm.
It would be a critical factor in defeating their attempt. That's what makes this very curious and interesting.
You know, we could shift gears a little bit and talk about what's going on with NATO. That's pretty profound. What's going on with the shifting of alliances that could happen here is pretty profound.
Well, what shifting are you thinking of?
Well, I'll tell you what's happened. This is pretty obvious to people, but our immigration laws in America have been lax under Joe Biden, where a lot of people cross the border unfettered. But we have a system that is dealing with that now. Europe has allowed Muslims to cross into their territory over the last 20 years or 15 years at a much higher rate, to the point where now all over Europe we have what are called no-go zones, which are basically under Sharia law, where they have Sharia law courts.
Yeah.
We talked about how Texas, they were trying to put up a Muslim town, and have a Sharia law court in one place in Texas, and they're fighting that and they're defeating that. In Europe, those no-go zones, they call it, where Sharia courts are all over Europe, especially Western Europe, Spain, France, and England, namely. Kind of political influence that jihadists are now influencing over Western Europe is so high that something we couldn't imagine. Spain, now you can understand why Spain and France and England don't want to get involved in this, but they're not even let us fly over their air. England, I believe, is letting us fly over their airspace, but France and Spain, I believe, are not even letting us fly over their airspace.
No, France is Spain. I haven't heard that France was
Spain is not.
Yeah, well, Spain.
Okay,
it's a socialist country now.
Spain and France and England are all three socialist countries now, pretty much, and none of the three are offering really. They're not behaving like allies during this war, and especially Spain. And there's a lot of talk now. I heard some talk about the possibility that we have, of course, our American bases all over Europe. The possibility is that we may be leaving Spain, moving our troops more into Eastern European countries, which have proven to be more aligned with us in recent years than the Western Europe, given their, probably for good reason, given that they know what it's like to live under communism and socialism in Eastern Europe, whereas apparently they don't have that in Western Europe. And so England, which is one of our best friends, is now. You can't help but think that the Muslim influence in those countries is getting pretty strong, high-pitched. The idea that Spain, and then you got to remember, Spain was controlled for hundreds and hundreds of years by the Moors, which were Muslim tribes. Okay, I feel like Western Europe has fallen to Muslim influence in a way that is a little bit scary, and that we may see some serious realignment. They may even not be part of NATO, may be reshaped because of this.
What is the percentage of the British population that's Muslim?
It's a relatively small percentage, but it's bigger than ours.
6%.
Okay. Muslims are very good at making a lot of noise despite having small numbers.
Well, what they do is
do we have a number like that for Spain?
They gather together in tight places. Okay. Dearborn, Michigan is your classic example. Okay.
What about Spain? Do we know what percentage of Muslims are in Spain? It's probably a higher number.
All of these are going to be in my estimation, in the 6 to 8% range.
Why would Spain not even allow us to fly over their country? I mean, that to me is not the act of an ally. That is the act of an adversary, honestly.
Somebody explained it very well the other day. And let me see if I can remember here.
I got to tell you, I don't like the position that the Trump administration is taking about this, though. There's talk about them kicking them out of NATO, moving our troops out of Eastern Europe. That to me is not, that's giving up, really. That's giving it off to them. We could end up, quite frankly, 20 years from now, If we just abandon these three countries, we could end up with another, Spain could become like another Iran 15 or 20 or 30 years from now. So it's foolish if Rubio and Trump want to just kind of thumb their nose at them and say, hey, you haven't put up enough money to help us out. The hell with you, we're getting out. To me, that's a mistake. We need to go in there, and even if we got to use our intelligence and help those countries stay on their feet. You're right. Only 6% of the people in England are Muslim. That means there's got to be a lot of frustrated English people. They need our help, maybe, not our abandonment.
So you haven't heard about Amelia, have you?
No, tell me about it.
Amelia is an AI fake that has been created, who basically is, shall we say, leading the charge against the Muslims in England.
There you go.
Let me see if I can get up a little something here about Amelia.
This Muslim thing is bad news. I mean, I'm not cool with it, man. I'm not considering it a religion anymore either. In my mind, it's a cult, not a religion.
Yeah.
If they want to have a religion, they should step up and then kick these people out of the religion. I think the Christians do a pretty good job of keeping our wackos on the fringe.
Right.
We have our wackos too on the right in the Christian religion for sure.
Okay.
Hang your ass, not worshiping Jesus or whatever.
All right.
But
so what you got to do?
What's that?
What you got to do? I'm going to send this link to you.
Okay.
Is you're still there? You can talk, I guess. All right, here.
I'm here.
Too important to forget, so I got to get this off to you. All right. So if you do a right there, and okay, so I just sent you the link.
Okay.
Okay. So what you do is you search on the term Amelia in the UK.
All right.
And then when you get the results, there's a choice where you can look for videos. The tab for videos.
Mm-hmm.
So you click on the tab for videos and you'll see.
Okay. I'll check it out.
Yes. So
I hope there's movements in Western Europe for this, because it's the problem we're having is minor compared to what they're dealing with there. And 6% is enough to make a big mess. And if they get it, I don't know if have they closed their borders in Europe? I'm sure they're still flooding into Europe, right?
They are.
That number could be 7, 8, 9, 10%.
Right.
And then once you get that numbers, then
on what should be.
What is the no-go zone anyway? Is that a place you literally like? I mean, I've heard about these no-go zones all over Europe. And Texas almost had one.
Yeah.
I mean, what does that mean? If you go there and get arrested for speeding, and a woman's not wearing her parka, she's going to get thrown in a cage or something? I mean, what the hell does that mean?
As in, you'll immediately be tagged as someone who's not Muslim, and you will be harassed.
So there's no go, meaning you shouldn't go there.
Police will not do anything to help you.
Well, that's a problem.
Yes, it is a problem. Anyway, Spain, it's 4%.
Really, even less.
Right.
I don't know if I believe that.
Let's just look at France.
What would motivate Spain not to allow even flying through their airspace?
All right.
I can understand you don't want to contribute. I mean, NATO hasn't been attacked specifically.
Mm-hmm.
So Spain's under no obligation to participate in the war, but not flying over the airspace, to me, that's the act of a adversary, and it's hard to fathom.
Okay, I have to emphasize when a country goes socialist, you might as well say enemy of the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and Spain has gone socialist.
Okay, well, then get them out of NATO, take our troops out of there, and then send the CIA in to help them fix it.
Yeah, well,
we got to do. I mean, you got to fight fire with fire in this thing.
It has to be thought of in terms of what kind of. All right, I want to just mention the obvious, which is Ukraine and Russia. Mm-hmm. And as I said before, despite what Steve Bannon thinks, the fight with Ukraine and Russia is in fact in our strategic interest, because it's the foreign minister of communist China said himself in public, if Russia gets in trouble, we're in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And since we regard Red China as a, that's the word I'm looking for, a strategic concern, that's a nice way to put it, anything that hurts China is in our interest.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to help Ukraine hurt Russia.
Right. I would agree.
Okay. So, I mean, but a lot of people haven't been able to figure this simple point out. I don't know why.
Steve Bannon can't figure it out. Well, I think he's thinking, when people say we have no strategic interest, they're thinking economically, I think, more than anything else.
Well,
but I still think that's not true either, but, you know.
No, I think behind the word strategic is also the word geopolitical.
Right.
So anything that involves the Western Hemisphere is going to be strategic and geopolitical by definition. Okay. I mean, even a place like Cuba, which you see as a small, weak country, it's still next to us. And for that reason alone, there are strategic concerns when it comes to dealing with Cuba.
So then another thing is, when it comes to Cuba, another thing I just thought of, though, with Trump, when he says that I heard him say yesterday, I'm dealing with a much more reasonable group of people. And
yeah, that remains to be seen. Man. Yeah, that remains to be seen. I mean, there's already
he's getting bamboozled, or he's they shouldn't be saying stuff like that. I'm all for transparency, but
yeah. So at the heart of this is the fact that any concession by Iran concerning the Strait of Hormuz is going to be a fatal error for them. Okay, so control of the Strait of Hormuz is vitally essential, and they cannot entertain anything other than maintaining that control.
I would agree. That makes a lot of sense to me. And to me, the idea that the rest of the world can't wrestle control from Iran for that area is, to me, almost like fake news. Almost like
we've looked at the map. Shall I bring the map up again?
About the size of Connecticut. The area, the general area of where that strait is about the size of Connecticut. If you were to just stretch it to both ends of where you first, not the strait itself, that's a lot smaller, but the actual general area that's blocked off, starting with Carg Island down to the other end of it. It's about the size of Connecticut, give or take.
Right. All right. What happened, guys?
We can't, if the rest of the world can't handle that, and if Iran's I know they're getting some help from the outside a little bit, but I think most of the world wants that strait open, and if we can't pull that off, then I don't know what to say really about it.
Well, here I got it. This is why I'm being stupid here.
We can't take the Strait of Hormuz.
No.
The world's number one superpower can't do it.
I'm blathering due to technical difficulties. Okay.
There we go.
All right. So now let's try this again here because it's important. It's a part of this discussion here.
I can see it in my head almost now.
Yeah. All right. Come on, guys. I had it. Let's try it again. Here it is.
Experiencing temporary technical difficulties. The Red Sox, by the way, won 2 games in a row.
What is?
Got the
why is not? Why am I?
We're sick of looking at those ugly Irani guys, dude.
Okay, I get it. The right map should be coming up, and it's not.
Okay, that's all right, because you know what? I think maybe we should continue with this subject next time, because we're running out of time, and it's late.
Here.
I gotta go to bed. Oh, you got it now.
No, I don't.
You don't.
My door. Here it is.
There it is.
Right. Okay.
So this area, I can't point to it with what I have, but this area.
So you see where the Strait of Hormuz is?
Yeah, the elbow. It looks like someone's elbow. Right. That whole elbow area. If you go to the forearm all the way to the wrist end of it, that's about the size of Connecticut or so.
Okay. So, but the important part here is, do you see the scale, the mileage or distance scale here, where it says KM?
Yep.
All right. So you just imagine. So the green part is like maybe 50 kilometers.
Oh, inland, you mean? Correct. That's
Right.
flatland.
Okay, so there's to the right, you can see a mountainous area closer to the coastline,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can see there's a mountain, all that other part there that's kind of mountainous to the left.
If you go right up from where the strait is most narrow there, looks like there's a little passageway.
Yeah,
Flatland.
there's enough room because they have ballistic missiles. So I think you and I would agree, as we are talking right now, they are shifting ballistic missiles down into that area because they fully expect the ceasefire to fall apart, and they fully expect they're going to need those missiles to fire at tankers.
Well, let's get down there and blow them up then.
Yeah, well, this is going
We're
to
gonna win this war.
the critical area of conflict.
The only thing I'm worried about is that we're going to pussy out. We're going to back off. We're going to negotiate some kind of deal with this stupid government, leave them intact. If that happens, then I can tell you, I'll be furious.
Yeah, well, okay.
I'll be furious. I will turn against the whole thing. Because
There-
that point, all we did was nothing.
Okay.
So it's got to come out with that. I don't care if it takes months. I don't care if it takes a couple of years. I'm willing to wait as long as it takes. But that's the objective. Regime, I mean, and the mullah. I mean, regime change, people don't like that phraseology, you know. But that's what it is. We got to get rid of the mullah, man.
I believe that President Trump has already made up his mind that if he has a shot at true regime change, but it's going to cost in the midterms, he's going to do it.
But I agree. Then he should do it.
Okay, so if that's his attitude, all right, then you've got Pete Hegseth and the chiefs of staff in that room as well. You know, they like Donald Trump, think in terms of winning, not losing. We don't want to do something where we're going to lose, all right? And they'll sit there and they will make their cost assessments. How many lives? How much equipment? What are we going to lose? What is the cost of doing this? You know, in the D-Day invasion, they had to answer the question. How many men are going to die? We're going to send in 100,000 men on those shores. How many of them are not going to make it?
Right. Well, war's hell, man.
Okay, so
Sucks.
they
Wish
do
we
those
didn't have to be like this.
calculations.
If we didn't have these skunk bag mullahs, we wouldn't have to deal with this shit, man.
Well, it is what it is right now.
It is what it is. It sucks, but
Okay.
a lot of Americans, I don't think, honestly, we can do it without ground troops. So,
all right. I think, yes, ultimately, we can't do it without ground troops, but you're going to have to think in terms. I mean, we've already demonstrated how decapitation strikes can work. So that's a tactic that is probably still very much on the table, right? But you're going to be confronted with this other issue here, which is you can keep chasing these guys all you want. At what point are you going to say we won? I think it's obvious. I don't have to talk about this. You know what the answer is. But we also know that, you know, you keep saying 4 weeks, 4 weeks. All right, you know, we're gonna.
We've already won the in terms of the destroying their navy and their air force pretty well. I mean, but we haven't won the war yet, obviously.
You know, I hate to say it. In terms of the overall plan for regime change, that's probably the least significant thing. Okay.
We haven't accomplished that yet, obviously, but
okay.
That's the end. I don't think we should quit until we have that, though.
Yeah, well,
even if it takes 2 years, we should not quit. If we back off and let the mullahs remain in power,
all right, you say
we're
this.
just going to keep getting attacked. Matter of fact, something worse will happen.
So then, what do we do if the ceasefire fails?
I hope it does, so we can just go in there and just start bombing the crap out of it again.
Right.
Until these people cry uncle, man. That's
we
what
already have talked about how the Patriot missile inventory is almost used up.
Well, the ceasefire will help us restock.
Okay, you just talked about you want to go back in there and start bombing the hell out of them. You got it. Which is
You can have it both ways. I get it.
Okay, so we have to think of other means, other ways of doing this. All right, and it's going to take
tonight because this show is over.
I mean, it's just like the editorial. Right. I haven't posted it yet, but the title is Iran is resilient. We have to be more resilient.
Right. Absolutely.
Okay.
I think we will be.
Yeah.
I hope
and
the
I-
people.
and I
Well,
guess
I know
it
we
takes
will be as
time.
a military. I'm not sure if the people of the United States have the patience for it.
Mhm.
We're so spoiled in this country.
Right.
But with that, we got to continue this another day. I got to go to bed.
Okay. All
Big
right.
day tomorrow.
Another day tomorrow. Yep.
Another day is another battle. Thanks
That's
to everybody at the
exactly
RTC in Coventry tonight. We had a good time down there. I think mostly good people in the room. A lot of rhinos in there too, probably. But
Mhm.
I think we should spend some time soon talking about a little bit more in depth about the psychology of the Republican Party, the rhino, and the
Yeah.
unity. I think it's important to break that down psychologically.
Okay. Well, then, do I have to remind you?
Oh, it's not showing up with your green board.
Ah, damn it.
You got to read it.
Yes. The
Or
title
hold
is.
it back. Hold it back like this. If you hold it up not too close, hold it backwards, away from the camera more.
Hold on. I got it.
It'll probably show up. Or you're gonna. Oh no! You bring it backwards, far back as you can. No, I don't see it. What does it say? I can't see it. It's weird. I don't see you either. Even you're gone now.
Right.
I just see the empty room.
Oh, no. All right.
The aliens
The
are coming.
technology sucks. Okay.
Oh, now you're only half ahead. You only got half a head.
All right.
God, call an ambulance.
The title is "The Death
Okay,
of the
you're okay
Republican Party in Connecticut." It's a real book.
What's the title again? Say, read it again. I'm sorry.
The Death of the Republican Party in Connecticut.
Okay, who's the author?
Thomas Becker.
Thomas Becker. Oh, he's the attorney I'm trying to reach.
And how's that going?
I so far one Facebook reach, but I'm gonna have to pop his cell phone, I think.
Yeah, well, you're going to have to keep working on getting a hold of the boy because
He's the guy I want to do my legal backing. But
Yeah.
anyway, we'll be back tomorrow night, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. It's been a good show.
Mhm.
Once again, I'm gonna hit the sack. I got some inner eyelid inspection to do soon.
All right.
And tomorrow we'll be back at it. So for everybody here at Facebook and everybody for Common Sense News and Entertainment.
All right.
God bless
Nighty
Connecticut.
night.
God bless
All
America.
right. So this.
Bye, everybody.